There's a library that almost no one is allowed to enter. It has over 50 miles of shelves, more than 35,000 volumes, and documents dating back over 12 centuries. It holds secrets from emperors, popes, kings, and revolutions. It witnessed wars, betrayals, excommunications, and cover-ups. It's not in some underground bunker, it's right in the center of Rome. And it belongs to the Vatican. For centuries, the world has wondered, what is the Church hiding in its secret archives? And why does it still guard them like a fortress? This is History Mind, and we're opening the door to one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the heart of power. To understand the secret archives, you have to understand the Vatican. Not just the religion, not just the Pope, but the machinery behind it, the records, the whispers, the official memory of the Catholic Church. The Vatican is the smallest country in the world, but arguably the most powerful. It holds spiritual influence over more than 1 billion people. It survived the fall of Rome, the Middle Ages, the Enlightenment, world wars, and the rise of modern democracy, and it documented all of it. Because the Vatican doesn't forget. It records, and it locks away what it doesn't want you to see. What are the secret archives? First, the name itself is misleading. They're not secret in the sense of being unknown. They're called the Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum. In Latin, secretum doesn't mean hidden. It means private. These are the private archives of the Pope, the Church's central repository of documents, letters, and records that were never meant for public view. But don't let the name fool you. For centuries, these archives were completely off-limits. No scholars, no journalists, no questions, just silence. Behind locked doors, the entrance to the Vatican archives looks like something out of a Dan Brown novel. A grand hallway, marble columns, steel gates guarded by Swiss soldiers. Beyond them, a warren of climate-controlled rooms, underground vaults, and high-tech surveillance. You need special permission from the Pope himself to get access. Even then, there are rules. You can't just browse. You must request specific documents by name. You're only allowed to view up to 5 items per day. And you can't take anything out. No phones, no cameras, no copies. Just you, a pen, and paper. It is, by design, a place of silence. What's inside? We don't know everything that's inside, but what we do know is enough to make historians, governments, and conspiracy theorists obsess over it. The Vatican claims it holds letters from Michelangelo complaining about his pay, the original excommunication decree of Martin Luther, Galileo's trial documents, including his forced confession, the papal bull that split the world between Spain and Portugal, diplomatic letters from Hitler, Mussolini, Napoleon, and Churchill. And those are just the confirmed ones. What about the rest? Theories, whispers, and shadows. Let's talk about what people think might be hidden behind those gates. Theory 1. Proof of Jesus' bloodline. Some believe the Vatican holds evidence that Jesus had descendants, passed down in secret to avoid destabilizing church doctrine. Fiction? Maybe. But it's a theory that's lived for hundreds of years and echoes in art, literature, and modern DNA studies. Theory 2. The lost books of the Bible. There are dozens of Gospels, letters, and writings from early Christianity that never made it into the official Bible. What if the Vatican possesses copies of these forbidden texts? And if so, what do they say about Mary Magdalene, Lucifer, or the nature of sin itself? Theory 3. Ancient knowledge and extraterrestrials from UFO sightings recorded in papal journals to early astronomical charts that predate accepted science. Some claim the Church has buried knowledge that could challenge our understanding of life and the universe. Sounds wild? Yes, but the Vatican does have its own observatory, and it's not open to the public either. The Church has lived through, and often caused, some of history's darkest chapters. Crusades, inquisitions, colonial conquest, the Holocaust, sexual abuse cover-ups, political interference. The question is, how much of this is documented inside those archives, and how much of it is intentionally buried? We know that in 2020, after global pressure, the Vatican finally allowed access to some documents about Pope Pius XII's actions during World War II. But that was only one pope's reign. What about the rest? The 1929 agreement, a silent bargain. Here's a detail most people don't know. In 1929, the Vatican signed a treaty with Benito Mussolini, the Lateran Treaty, which officially created Vatican City as a sovereign state. In return, the Church recognized Mussolini's fascist government and received millions in compensation. That treaty was documented. But what else was exchanged behind closed doors? Scholars believe secret side agreements were made and stored in the Pope's private archives, but no one's ever seen them. Who is allowed inside? Less than 1,000 people in the world have ever stepped foot inside the secret archives. Most of them are trusted Catholic scholars, historians with Vatican ties, or elite academic researchers. And even they don't get full access. Whole sections of the archives remain completely off-limits. One researcher described it as holding the world's most dangerous book and not being allowed to open it. A history written and erased. The power of the Vatican Secret Archives isn't just what's inside, it's what's been edited, what's been removed, what's been hidden. History is written by the victors, and when the victors also control the archives, what does that say about the history we think we know? Some believe the Vatican protects these secrets to preserve stability. Others believe they're protecting themselves. What's behind those locked gates? Ancient heresies, buried crimes, or just paper and ink? We don't know. But we go deeper, into the attempts to break the silence, the wars of information, and the few brave researchers who got too close. Comment what you think they're hiding. Subscribe to HistoryMind. The story continues soon. Previously, we stepped into the shadows of the Vatican's secret archives. 50 miles of documents, 1,200 years of locked history, and almost no access. We explored what the Church confirms it holds and what the world suspects it's hiding. Now, in Part 2, we look at the stories of those who tried to open the gates and what happened when they got too close. The case of Father Malachi Martin. Let's start with a name whispered in the halls of conspiracy. Father Malachi Martin, a Jesuit priest, a Vatican insider, and an author of books that shook the Church's foundations. In public, he was just another theologian. But in private, he claimed to have read documents the public would never see. According to Martin, the Vatican's archives contained details about exorcisms, the Church never acknowledged secret correspondence with demons and possessed individuals, evidence of Luciferian rituals inside Vatican walls. Sounds impossible until you realize he wasn't dismissed by the Church. He left, voluntarily, and died shortly after a radio interview where he hinted at a hidden war inside the Vatican. Coincidence? Or silence enforced? The disappearing documents. Here's a story that never made headlines. In 1997, a small team of historians working on World War II-era documents reported that entire boxes of files vanished overnight. These were meant to shed light on Pope Pius XII's knowledge of the Holocaust. No press release, no explanation, just gone. The Vatican later claimed the documents were misfiled. They were never recovered. Was it poor management or an erasure of truth? The Church and the Nazis. Let's talk about one of the darkest claims surrounding the archives: the Vatican's alleged complicity with the Nazis. There's evidence, some public, some buried, that the Church helped smuggle Nazi officers into South America, sanitized records to protect war criminals who converted to Catholicism, used church funds to create new identities and passage routes known as ratlines. These claims remain controversial. But again, the documents that could prove or disprove them are locked away. Historians want access, but the Vatican has only released partial documents, carefully redacted, with key pages missing. Secrets of Science and the Cosmos. The Vatican has an observatory. That's not fiction. It's called the Vatican Observatory, and it's one of the oldest astronomical institutions in the world. Why does a religious institution need high-powered telescopes pointed at the stars? Some theorists believe they're searching for evidence of other life. They've already seen something, and the proof is buried inside restricted Vatican documents. Again, speculation. But remember, Galileo's trial transcript is locked inside the archives too. The Church has a long history of controlling the narrative of the sky. The most guarded rooms. Not all parts of the archives are equal. Some rooms require dual authorization. Some are said to have fireproof vaults. Others are off-limits even to cardinals. One of these restricted sections allegedly holds a file simply labeled Liber Damnatus, the Book of the Damned. No one knows what's inside. Some say it's a list of popes whose names were erased from history. Others say it contains writings too dangerous for theology, accounts of visions, curses, and prophecies that could unravel the Church's authority. There is no proof. But inside a place built on control, even the rumor of forbidden knowledge holds power. Today, public pressure is mounting. Academics, survivors, journalists, all demanding access to the truth behind sexual abuse cover-ups, missing financial records, political deals with authoritarian regimes. The Vatican has made small concessions, releasing documents from select pontificates. But every release is curated, cleaned, redacted, reviewed by the very institution accused of hiding the truth. It's like asking a magician to reveal his secret, while keeping the wand in his hand. Why keep it secret at all? Let's ask the deeper question. Why would the Church hide these things? Some say it's to protect the faithful, that certain truths could shake belief or cause mass disillusionment. Others believe it's about power. That knowledge is leverage, and whoever controls the archives controls the narrative of humanity's past. The Church doesn't just preserve history, it curates it, and sometimes that means removing the pieces that don't fit. The final theory: nothing or everything. Here's the most unsettling possibility. What if the Vatican archives don't contain shocking secrets? What if all the mystery, all the silence, is just a mask for bureaucracy and dust? Or worse, what if they really do hold everything we fear? Knowledge that could change science, rewrite religion, or shake the foundation of Western history? And if that's true, then someone made a choice, not just to hide it, but to never let it out. Behind locked doors, beneath marble halls, guarded by silence. The Vatican Secret Archives may be the last true mystery in the modern world. Will we ever see what's inside, or will the truth remain behind the seal of the church? Let us know in the comments, what do you think they're hiding? And for more untold stories like this, subscribe to History Mind, where hidden history lives.